Hey there! Today on Self-Analysis I will be talking about my past week, in which, by the way, I finally launched this YouTube channel, so that's pretty exciting. Well, for me. Anyway, I had a lot of stuff that I had to do, which was put together that intro video, and then make all of those social media pages, which was exhausting. And if that was enough, of course, tons of stuff had to go wrong in my normal life. So, I thought a great way to tie all of that in would be to go into our metaphorical big red bag and pull out an old short story that I was supposed to write for my creative writing class. It was called They Just Don't Seem to Go Away, or They Just Don't Go Away. Can't really remember because I didn't really write the story. I was supposed to write this story for a course called CRW 1101, which was a creative writing workshop, I believe. I was not exactly satisfied with that class because the creative writing was more of creative reading, because we were reading other people's creative writing instead of writing our own creative writing, if that makes sense. I hope I didn't mess that up. We did end up writing one short story though, so all of my creative energy that was frustrated throughout the entirety of that course was now pushed and crushed into this tiny little story. And that story ended up being our final, so a lot was weighing in on it. I have always thought that in order to be a great writer, you have to take the most mundane tasks and make them seem fascinating to a reader, just through your words. And that's what I was going to challenge myself to do. Only that the length of the paper was supposed to be between 8 and 10 pages. And that's an awkward place where you can't exactly take something as boring as a person eating a sandwich and people watching at the beach and drag that out for 8 pages. That's not realistic. So that was a challenge for me to figure out what right amount of excitement and mundaneness, normality, there you go, you can put together to make this perfect short story. For me, I ended up going a different route, but it was inspired by this one short story idea I came up with. So, They Just Don't Seem to Go Away, or They Just Don't Go Away, can't remember, was a story about flies in a work office. A person who's a workaholic is there, and he had to be there while this infestation was growing and just being annoying. And it eventually drove him to insanity. It was supposed to be like a commentary on how the little things get to us. But anyway, I ended up not writing that story, but I felt like it was one of those stories that you see a lot in sci-fi where the writer writes this story and whatever he writes down ends up start happening to him. Because that exact scenario happened to me. Last week I had a ton of flies just out of nowhere start flooding into my apartment. It was just 1 or 2, and I was like, oh, that's okay, I'll just... But then there's just so many, like dozens. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make peace with the flies. They can go wherever they want, and I'll just be Gandhi or whatever. That worked. I just went back to insanity. I just started slapping everything. I don't know what's wrong with flies, but they really think there is something in my ears. There's nothing in there. There's no food in my ears. Stop going in there. After that went on for a while, I ended up going and buying a bunch of bug spray and sprayed mist all over the apartment. It was crazy and really probably bad for me. They said to leave the house for 30 minutes, but I might have sprayed a little bit more than they anticipated, because I left for maybe an hour and I came back and I was in here for maybe another 15 minutes and I started like getting you know, like coughs and like wheezes, and I'm like, I'm going to die! I have to get out of here! It was really kind of scary, and I'm like, God, please don't let me die this way. Although it would be a great story. Immediately after that, I became germophobic and I just ran to and fro around the condo, just like picking up everything and just throwing it into the washer and dryer, trying to like clean it up. My bed sheets, I just stripped them immediately because I'm like, there's no way I'm sleeping in a bed filled with poison. I don't know how effective that poison was, because even after I sprayed the entire place, I still found flies. Like, just, you know, walking about like, this place like pretty cool still. There was a fly on the door my front door, and I was like, what are you doing here? I legitimately just sprayed this place, and I took that spray despite my fear of being poisoned to death, and I just sprayed it. I sprayed it and sprayed it for like a good 5 seconds, and it still was just like, I'm just gonna chill here, I'm walking around, I'm not reacting at all. And I mean, I was like, maybe this isn't poison. Maybe I just bought a water bottle and I'm just like spraying it everywhere, or air freshener. It kind of smelled good, but that was what scared me. So after the fly spray didn't exactly do what it was supposed to, like kill all the flies and perform genocide, the same day I was throwing away some of the stuff in my fridge into the garbage can, I found out that Philadelphia cream cheese had expired like a long time ago and I was still using it. So I was a bit disgusted. It said on the side, use after 10 days, but on the bottom it says good until August 12th. Little did I know that if you remove the lid, then the 10-day time period takes in effect. And I was using that for a good 2 to 3 months. So I'm probably gonna die eventually because of that cream cheese. But anyway, after I threw that cream cheese into the garbage can, it was like fly bait, and all the flies magically flew into the garbage can. I mean, not magically, they were attracted to the smell of rotting cheese, I suppose. I didn't quite smell it yet, so that was a plus. Thank you, God. You're the best. And basically, I had all these flies in the garbage can, and I was like, oh, perfect opportunity. They were just sitting in there, like chilling out, all of them. So I took the garbage bag and quickly ran out of the house like this, and then I threw it in the dumpster, and all the flies were out of my house. And I didn't really have to kill any of them. So that was really nice, because I would have felt kind of bad about killing them. I know they're just flies, but I mean, they're living creatures. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this in my channel so far. On Sunday I'll be releasing a short film I shot with Lizzie Rizet from Lizzie's Answers. You can see a link somewhere. She helped me out with this short film, and by short I mean very short because it's only about 1 minute 30 seconds long. But it's definitely enjoyable to me, so hopefully you'll like it. And also check out my other channel, Kinetic Blog, for a new blog every Sunday as well. So, there you go. See ya!